Hey guys, Ed here, bringing you part 9 of the Archer series. And I know, I do apologize, this video was supposed to come out the beginning of June. Unfortunately, it's coming in late. But, I'll make it up to you. I managed to work on 3 scripts. That said, let's get into it.
Fearless.
Where I last left off, Class 1A arrived to the USJ only for people to show up via portal. The heroes were getting ready, knowing that it was a villain invasion. That's when a man covered in hands spoke up. Well, hello there, heroes in the making. I am Shigaraki, and we are the League of Villains. We knew that you were going off campus for a while, and we decided to invade. Hope that you don't mind. But there's someone missing. Where's All Might? Aizawa getting ready, he would say, 13, get the students out. Before anything else could be said, the sound of a cheerful laugh could be heard as a hooded figure spoke up. You truly are here, fake archer. I look forward to our little game, whenever you choose to make your presence known. Shigaraki angrily he would say, What the hell, Goldie? I thought you were going to stick to the background, not to get in my way. The figure laughing to himself he would say, Silence, mongrel. I don't need to play by your rules, especially when one of the class cards is here. Scratch that. There are 2 of them. Interesting. Shigaraki annoyed he would say, The name is Shigaraki, not mongrel. And you better start falling in line. I don't care who the hell you're looking for, or whatever it is that you're talking about. Don't get in my way when it comes down to taking out All Might. The hooded figure ignored Shigaraki as he turned towards Class 1A, as a golden portal appeared beside him. As a spear seemed to pop out of it a little bit, he would say, If you don't reveal yourself, fake, bad things are going to start happening. Starting by one of my weapons piercing the chest of one of your classmates. Izuku, seeing the spear heading right for Ochako, he contemplated his decision, but at that moment, his body decided to move, leaving only one thing to do. He pulled out the card, and a flash of light blinded them for a moment. Everybody heard a loud twinging noise, and once the light finally dimmed down, they saw Archer standing there, holding the spear, as he threw it right back at the hooded figure, landing only a foot in front of the man. Both of their eyes were focused on the other. Izuku stepping forward down the staircase, he would say, You want to challenge me? Well, here I am. I'm really angry now that my identity has been revealed, so this better be worth it. The man walking closer, he would say, Mongrel, you are a fake. I am the real deal, the General Oracle, and I gained the ability of the first hero, the King of Heroes, Gilgamesh. So call me by that name while you face me. Izuku, masking nervousness with bravado, he would say, No wonder you seem to have a 6-foot pole up your ass. Why don't I spare you the trouble by killing you? Gilgamesh, laughing, he would say, Fake, I'm afraid you have things all wrong. Do you really think you'll be fighting me? No. That's why I brought a special little friend with me. But before any of that could be taking place, the onlookers are a problem. Izuku was confused as he heard Gilgamesh snapping his fingers. Then he could see his classmate being consumed by purple mist as he wanted to help them. But the colossal figure blitzed in front of him and swung down his axe-like sword. But Izuku jumped out of the way at the last second. But when he looked back, the ground had several slashes. as a purple mist vanished, revealing that none of the students or the teachers were there. But when he focused his eyes, he saw Gilgamesh sitting on the top of the staircase, sipping from a golden chalice. Izuku getting into the fighting stance with Kansho and Bakia drawn, he would say, "Okay, I'm curious. Who or what are you?" Gilgamesh would say, "Allow me to introduce our little friend here because he cannot speak for himself. He is Berserker. But can you figure out which Berserker he is? Well, not it will matter. You will fall here. Then I will claim your card. I will celebrate with a nice glass of wine as I dispose of your fake card and your corpse." Izuku gritting his teeth, he would say, "Then bring it on." We cut away from the clash that started to take place in the plaza to the mountain zone where Miyuki, Momo, and Kirishima ended up. Momo would say, "Is everyone alright?" Kirishima still in shock, he would say, "I'm fine. I'm just baffled what we just saw." Miyuki was confused. "Just shocked? We need to hurry back to the plaza." Momo panicking, she would say, "Are you crazy? I don't want to get near Archer. He's a lunatic." Miyuki angrily would say, "I do agree that Archer has done some sketchy things. It doesn't mean that he's a bad person." Momo frowned a little. "I understand that, but he's no hero. He has killed more than he saved." Kirishima got in between the both of them, as he would say, "It doesn't matter who is right or wrong. Right now, we're in the middle of a dangerous situation. We need to get back, find Sensei, then try to get a hold of main campus." Miyuki nodded her head in agreement, as she would say, "Plus, now that I know who Archer is, I can get direct line to my brother, so he can't get away today." Kirishima having a sweat job, she would say, "Where are your priorities? Let's think of a way to get out of this alive first." A voice would say, "So I was right to follow you. My master truly was right. You both look very similar." The trio turned around to see a girl with blonde hair wearing a red dress that seemed to be ready for battle, showing little to no shame to her feminine wonders. Kirishima was blushing like crazy, not used to seeing a woman like her. Momo was on guard, getting ready to make something, but Miyuki stepped forward, as she would say, "You know my brother? You said that somebody has been looking for me?" The girl pulled out an envelope from her cleavage, as she would say, "My master wanted me to give this to you. If you do not think you can get this out of here, or kept away from your teacher, burn it. This is an up-to-no secret, and it will give you a chance to get closer to your brother. My master can help you." Miyuki grabbed onto the letter, as she would say, "I promise I'll get this out of here, with me. I'm hoping that this will allow me to talk to your master, in leading me to my end goal. But who are you?" The blonde smiled at her, as she would say, "You can call me Saber." Momo would say, "Great. We have an archer, a saber. What the hell is that creature? Brawler?" Saber would say, "No. Apparently that is Berserker. You can tell by its attack patterns." Miyuki was about to store the letter within her own cleavage when she felt her wrist grabbed, seeing Momo angry at her. Miyuki would say, "Could you let go of me?" Momo still keeping a tight grip on Miyuki's wrist, she would say, "Are you insane? We don't even know this woman, and you automatically trusting her? For all we know, she could be a villain, and that letter could be holding a bomb." Miyuki with the attitude, she would say, "Well, excuse me, princess. The whole reason why I want to become a hero is to find my brother." Momo would say, "Okay, I understand. There's nothing wrong with that. But why accept anything from a stranger, and in this situation of all things?" Miyuki would say, "That's none of your business now, is it? And before you say that you understand how I feel, tell me, do you have any siblings?" Kirishima looked at Saber, then walked in between the two girls that were arguing. He would say, "Stop. I can tell by looking at her she's not the enemy. But she's not an ally either. She's just a messenger, so let it go. Momo, you have the right to report this to the teachers later, if you want. But by then, I feel it would be too late. Saber, giggling, she would say, well, I am intrigued with the story of a sister doing anything to find her long-lost brother. It just shows how deep their bond is, and her love for him, only for the answer to be right under her nose the entire time. I do want to hear her answer, but I must go back and watch over Archer. Arrivederci. The trio watched her jump off and almost disappear in a single leap, and losing track of her. We cut over to the burning city zone. We see Aizawa as he's surveying the area from a rooftop with Jiro and Ochako. Aizawa looked back at the both of the girls, concerned, as he would say, Miss Uraraka, I have many questions for you once this is over. But for now, we need to be on our guard and head back. Even though Archer's not someone I like dealing with, for now he's one of my students, so he's my responsibility. Jiro, curious, she would say, I need to know, have you killed anyone like he has? Ochako felt offended as she would say, no, and before either of you ask, I've never done any of this work. I've been against it from the very beginning. But ever since she died and Clock Tower sunk their fangs into him, he became more and more like this. I always get worried that one day he will go out and won't come back. As I would say, what can you tell me about Clock Tower? Jiro, confused, what are you talking about? What is this Clock Tower? Ochako, flustered, she'll say, well, I don't know much, but I don't think now's the time, eh? Villains started to climb upside the building, going towards them. Aizawa quickly go over the edge and start knocking them off. Jiro kept her distance as she plugs her earphone jacks into her boots, sending out small sound waves, knocking them away. Ochako was watching the situation, realizing that they were going to be overwhelmed. She gave a closer look at some of the villains, and she noticed that their bodies were made of stone, as her eyes widened. Ochako would say, Mr. Aizawa, when you hit them, do they feel like they're made of flesh or stone? Aizawa, confused, he would say, they're made of stone. Does that mean anything? I mean, isn't some kind of villain using their abilities? Ochako, gritting her teeth, she would say, it's possible, but it could be something else if I'm right. They're most likely golems. Jiro, getting rid of some of the golems, she'd say, what are you talking about? As I would say, well, if that's the case, and these things are golems, what do you have in mind for us to be able to take them out? Ochako, thinking, she would say, I have an idea, but it is risky. With the both of you here, I need you to get out of here and get at least 100 meters away. Aizawa would say, are you sure that you'll get out of this in one piece? Jiro, flinching, would say, you can't be serious, we're not leaving you behind. Ochako, ignoring Jiro, she would say, it's a little risky, but then again, that's what hero work is all about. If my abilities works, it'll take out all of the golems and allow us to get back to the plaza sooner. Aizawa didn't say anything as he grabbed Jiro and threw her over his shoulder as he hopped off the building. But we cut back to the main rooftop where Ochako started to chant, and a small black orb started to appear as her arms started to feel strained. She released the spell as the gravitational force pulling in everything, causing devastation upon the entirety of the burning city zone. But after a few minutes, Ochako fell to her knees as her magic circuits felt like they were on fire, as she was trying to catch her breath. Aizawa and Jiro were both in shock. cut back to the main plaza, where the majority of the goons were still scattered out to each of the other zones, but they were all mesmerized watching a battle of true titans, as fissures, broken blades, arrows laid waste to the ground. Izuku, breathing heavily, he would say, "This is crazy. I think I killed this guy at least 2 times with certain blows. Why does he keep on getting up? Who is this? What heroic spirit did this creature take after?" Berserker roared, enraged, as he continued to charge at him like an indestructible tank, slashing his blade, missing, and watching his opponent leap over him. Gilgamesh, sipping from his golden chalice, he would say, "It is really a bummer that Berserker can't speak. But then again, the base that it came from wasn't very intelligent to begin with." Izuku, trying to focus on the battle, he would say, "Damn it! I really hate opponents like this, all muscle and no brain. Makes it hard to tell what they're gonna do." Izuku threw his swords as if they were boomerangs, straight towards Berserker's neck. But Berserker charged forwards as if he wasn't even trying to get out of the way, continuing to move towards Deku, letting out another mighty roar. Izuku decides to gamble as he summons his bow and a specialized compressed arrow. Allowing Berserker to get within striking range, Izuku pulled out his string, then he released the arrow as it impacts, and it sent Berserker flying. Gilgamesh would say, "So, while we wait for him to come back, have you been having fun fighting against an opponent that's better than you?" Izuku, angrily, he would say, "Talk big for somebody who lets creatures like that fight battles for you. You must be very weak yourself." Gilgamesh, laughing, would say, "Wow, that's big talk coming from somebody who fights for a girl who died so easily, by a third. No. 5th-rate strength enhancer quirk user, impaled on a broken car door." Izuku's eyes widened, as if everything else in the world went silent. He could only hear those words echoing in his ears, and the memories from that day resurfaced and played in his mind over and over again. Izuku, forcing himself to be calm, he would say, "How do you know that?" Gilgamesh, smirking, he would say, "Well, didn't it seem a little bit too convenient? No heroes showing up, ambushed on your way to deliver the class card?" Izuku, angrily, he would say, "It was you, wasn't it? The cause of all my suffering was you. You took her away from me." Gilgamesh, getting under Izuku's skin, he would say, "No, I was the one who hired the duo to try to steal your class card, only to find out it was a fake this entire time. I never told them that they can't leave you alive, so I let them have their fun, only for me to find out that the card bonded to you, even though it was a fake. And I must say, you became a major thorn in my side, and now it's time to take it out." Izuku, summoning his trusty blades and charging in, consumed by rage, he would say, "You're going to pay for everything. I will tear you to pieces, and I'll have you die slowly, just like she did." The moment Izuku placed his foot on the first step, Berserker showed up behind him, as he grabbed Izuku by the waist and threw him across the plaza, and then charged like a raging bull, catching up with his strong opponent, punching him into the ground again and again. After a few minutes, he started to let out another roar. Gilgamesh, thinking the battle is over, he would say, "I've told you before, haven't I? If you wanted to get to me, you had to beat Berserker first. But since you forgot about that small little detail, You should probably be in hell complaining about how you were stupidly defeated. Such a fate of a mongrel. Izuku felt like he was about to pass out. But he was trying his best to focus. He struggled to move as he dropped his two blades. And he quickly summoned his trusty bow. Once more, waiting for the right moment. Once he saw an opening, he fired an arrow as it pierced right through Berserker's throat, which made him fall backwards. Izuku coughing up blood, he would say, "Hope you drown in your own blood this time." That arrow led a big hole in your throat. Berserker was about to fall on his back, dead, but instead, he gritted his teeth as he rose back onto his feet, using the momentum to strike Izuku square in the chest. Gilgamesh impressed, he would say, "Interesting. The fight started to get very, very interesting. And that makes 3. We're only 9 short. And now, let's see, what will come first? You discovering the identity of Berserker, or your death?" Izuku was about to say something, but he had to block an incoming attack. Although he blocked most of it, still, he received some deep gashes that were bleeding, and the sheer force of that attack sent him flying throughout the USJ and landing one of the zones. To be continued. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment down below. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for more. Turn on the bell notification to be updated so you never miss a video. That said, peace out.